So there will be new IT requirements for SPS goods in relation to EU to GB imports. The IPAFS, the Imported Products Animal Food and Feed System, will be used by importers to pre-notify SPS imports. The system is live and it's being used for the DOCOM and the ITAHC certificates needed for the movement of certain live animals. From 2021, IPAFS will be used to pre-notify the UK government before goods subject to SPS controls enter the country from the EU, as those controls were introduced in stages. That system will also replace the traces system currently operated by the European Commission. Pre-notification will be required for imports from the EU in line with the stage introduction of controls in 2021, starting with live animals, high-risk animal byproducts, and high-priority plants from January the 1st, and high-risk food and feed not of animal origin and products of animal origin from April 2021. To support trader readiness and adoption of IPAFS ahead of the end of transition, a phased migration is planned from the end of next month. Yeah, so continuing on the IT requirements for SPS goods, the Export Health Certificate online service will be used to control the safe export of live animals, products of animal origin, bees, endangered species, plant and plant products. The only exception is live aquatic animals, where the certificates are not on the Export Health Certification online system. An application must be made directly with CFAS or Marine Scotland through the relevant certificates are available on gov.uk in the form finder section. If you are struggling to find that, we can certainly help you out with a link to the relevant certificates. The system is already live and it's being rolled out to replace the largely manual rest of world export health certification processes. After the transition period, the EU will require GB exporters to have EHCs and phytosanitary certificates. These will be applied for using the Export Health Certificate online system. Traders will need to complete an Export Health Certificate for each type of animal or animal product exported from the UK. The system will also be enhanced to produce export plant health phytosanitary certificates for exporting controlled plants and plant products from the UK. Exporters moving SPS goods from the UK to EU will need to work with their import partners based in the EU to pre-notify EU authorities using the traces system. Okay, so specifically talking about plants and plant products now. The next few slides will take you through the staged requirements for SPS checks from January 2021 to July 2021. There will be a requirement for pre-notification and phytosanitary certificates for high priority plants and plant products from January 2021. SPS checks will take place away from the border at places of destination or other approved premises. An exhaustive list of high priority plants and plant products will be made available on gov.uk shortly. You can see on the slide what that will include. It will be plants for planting, where potatoes, some seed, some timber, and used agricultural forestry machinery. In addition, for solid wood fuel not otherwise regulated, pre-notification will be required, but a phytosanitary certificate will not. The requirement for pre-notification and phytosanitary certificates is extended to all regulated plants and plant products, i.e. not just those categorised as high risk, from April 2021. A full list of those regulated plants and plant products will be made available on gov.uk in due course, alongside the high priority plants that I've just mentioned. From July 2021, there will be an increased number of physical and identity checks. All of those checks will take place at border control posts. So going into more detail from January 2021, pre-notification and phytosanitary certificates will be required for high priority plants and plant products. Documentary checks will be carried out remotely. Physical checks will be carried out on high priority plants, which are not subject to systematic import checks now, but constitute high risk pathways. Physical checks will take place at destination or other authorised premises. Exporters will need to apply for a phytosanitary certificate from the relevant competent authority of the EU country of origin. This will need to be secured prior to the goods departure so that it can be sent to the importer for pre-notification purposes. Importers will need to submit import notifications at least 4 hours prior to arrival if travelling by air, or at least 1 working day prior to arrival by all other modes of transport, along with the phytosanitary certificate. Checks will be carried out by plant health and seed inspectors from the Analog Plant Health Agency and the Forestry Commission in England and Wales, and by the Scottish Government in Scotland. So moving on to April 2021, all regulated plants and plant products will require pre-notification and to be accompanied by a phytosanitary certificate. So that is moving on from January, so that's not only those categorised as high priority. From July 2021, physical checks for plants and plant products will increase. Commodities subject to sanitary and phytosanitary controls will need to enter via a point of entry with an appropriate border control post with relevant checking facilities. All ID and physical checks for plants and plant products will move to border control posts, either at existing points of entry or at new inland sites. Following feedback on the events that we've done to date, we've started to collect some frequently asked questions around physical checks, charges for checks and changes to the rest of world trade imports. I will just go through these now. Please do also continue to put comments in the chat, and we'll try and deal with them either today or after the event. So the first question that we to look at is, what do physical checks actually look like for goods? Will every good be checked, or just a sample from a consignment of goods? Most of physical checks on plants and plant products from the EU will take place on a risk based on risk, which will away from the border initially. The level of checks will increase for plants and plant products where there is an opportunity to better mitigate existing risks from the EU. Plants and plant products will be physically checked by examining the contents of consignments to ensure there is no evidence of the presence of harmful plant pests and diseases. Goods subject to physical checks will not always be sampled for lab testing. That will be performed on a random basis, or if non-compliance is suspected, or if the goods are subject to compulsory lab testing, or if pathogens are suspected, which may be latent or show no visual symptoms. Second question is, will importers incur any additional charges because of these new checks? Very straightforwardly, fees will be applied for checks on EU imports, as is the case for imports from non-EU countries now. And then will this also mean any changes to imports from countries outside the EU? For plants and plant products, a common import regime will ultimately apply to all third countries, so any changes will equally apply to EU and to non-EU countries.